What's up, everybody? It's Mr. Talkbox. Check it out. You need to like and subscribe. Come on and catch a boy. DOA playlist. Let's get the funky.
Now 8:47, 59 degrees, and Mark S. Allen has some special guests. They sound great, Mark.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I love these guys. I've been a big fan of these guys for a long time. They've opened for Coolio. They've headlined at Cal Expo. They are the hottest thing to come out of Sacramento since tomatoes. They are Touch. How you doing, guys?
So let's get to know you want to hear. And now, say hello to the host of Video Preview, Kaylin Sloan.
What's up? Hey, we got a great show tonight. I've got a group called Touch. Can you hear me? Because they are that group. I love them. We're going to play their video. They're going to...
Four young men, they're known as Touch, rendering the national anthem as we come back and you catch the final few notes of the anthem tonight. We'll check out as
usual.
usual.
Polynesian group, but also performing on this stage was a group called Touch, and we had a chance to talk to them about their music. Take a look.
No, it's not Boys to Men, although the look and sound are there. However, this group sets itself apart and hopes to touch you with its music.
We've been together for a few months now, baby. No more, no more, no more, no more.
Okay, so just giving you an idea of what I'm focused on capturing. When I say the Touch experience, I mean not just the group, but also the management team too. So when I say Touch experience, that refers to everybody. Just so you kind of understand the part of the questioning. Yeah. So the whole focus of this is because I know that Touch didn't do it alone. Mm-hmm. We had you guys, you know what I mean? And things that we weren't able to see, you guys saw. So in order for us to reach a goal, I think if somewhere in between that is a lot of juicy information that led to the success of Touch. If anything, just answer freely, take your time. There's no right or wrong answers. These are Florentine's answers. All right, so first of all, what's your first and last name and where are you from?
Mel Fong, born and raised Sacramento, California.
First name is Key, last name is Nguyen.
My name is Florentine Katudin Jr.
My name is Errol Shane Arienza Mercado Sr.
My name is Raleigh Mamawag, and we were the managers for Touch.
Okay, so first question. How did the group get started?
The start of the beginning of Touch. My cousin Charlie, DJ Charlie Ramos, I reached out to him back in 1991. I said, hey, cuz, if you know any singers, they let me know, because me and my boy John Keypot was looking for some singers. And he mentioned this name, Mayo Giko. He's part of a dance group called New Image. Even though they were a dance group, they were part of this contest where a dance group won first place, but also a singing contract for a dance group, right? That was the beginning of, and the nucleus of, the start of the singing group.
Tell us a little bit about the dedication and the commitment the group put into their craft as artists.
I saw that they practice a lot harder than a lot of other groups, so I knew that their standards are very high, and they always try to do better, exceed. So their work ethic is really good.
Oh, they were dedicated for sure. I mean, they. I remember them having voice coach Angie at the voice studio, working with the DOA, Derek Allen producing, going back and forth to Los Angeles, speaking with music executives. Some music executive locally here too, and going to live shows in San Francisco and all over the nation. So they definitely were very dedicated.
The group's dedication to their craft was immeasurable. They put in a lot of work day in, day out.
Watching your audiences or the crowds that group, it was SAC's own group of someone to be proud of. You guys were their hometown heroes per se, right? And seeing children that saw you guys dance, girls that, you know, of course reacted in a very, I would say, your young fans that became big fans of yours, and and then also families that wanted to see it, because it was like a family show.
From the live performances, watching the audience, the impact of the audience, I never hardly look at the stage. I look more at the audience and see what the impact they have and the beauty of it is the impact is on all different ages, from young kids to, you know, people in the 70s and 80s, and so it has a good wide cross section of impact.
Teenage girl would scream just like they would going to concerts, seeing their idols. Then you would go to more corporate events like the Colin Powell, when Colin Powell came, and Washington D.C. event. So you had a more mature audience, and they were mesmerized.
What do you think was it about Touch that was different?
I saw passion at that time. I saw it transcends the word dedication. It's their beloved element of who they are, which is musicians, right? Trying to find their leverage in the industry, which at that time a Filipino group is unheard of, but they didn't care. They just went through it and set their own breakthrough.
You guys were not just a cover band, you were writing original stuff. Vocals were amazing, your presentation and the dance choreography was great. I noticed when you guys sang, it was a gospel-based sort of vibe, you know, R&B, and something like that can't be faked. You can fake certain things, you can do karaoke, but original stuff, I felt a very strong spirit from you guys.
Their unique sound, their blend, it sounded better live than it did in recording. There was not just potential, there was an exceeded amount of potential there.
In my opinion, honest opinion, it was, you said experience, but it's also a journey, but it's also a discovery of some sort of what music and gift is all about, you know, musical gifts.
And after I heard their music, I'm like, okay, I'm sold. So that helped.
All right, so let's stick on that one. Like, so you heard the music and you're sold and you're smiling. So take yourself back to when you first heard the songs, and then what was that moment like for you?
Give you chills. You can feel it when they sang, and that's how we came across deciding on the name. We were trying to figure out the name for the group, and we kind of like, well, when they sing, they touch you, they hit a note, you know, you can feel it. So that's why we call them Touch.
It wasn't about fame, fortune, what have you. It was about sharing their talent to the world and trying to be a pioneer for our fellow Filipinos and our fellow Asian Pacific Islanders out there. We were in a position to be one of the first back in the early 90s.
Describe the roles and duties of each Touch member.
So Mel Mamau was sort of the smooth setup guy. He would sort of bring in the song, set it up, especially if it was a mid-tempo song.
David, he was the perfectionist. Like he was, his bar was high, from the dancing to the singing.
Dave, for example, you know, falsetto voice, bass voice, you know, baritone voice.
Mayo, all over the place. He's a peacemaker.
You're the most vocal. Even on stage, you're doing the speaking. You're the leader of the group.
And Raj, well, he's the artist, young and daring, but sometimes naive. But at the same time, he could sing.
What are some of the reasons you think why it wasn't Touch's time to become known?
I think back then we had very little representation. The API, Asian Pacific performers, very little representation back in the early 90s. And you being out there, you sort of paved way for others to come, you know.
During that period, it was more predominantly a different nationality in that type of style of music, and then knowing that they were Filipinos, which made it more unique.
In the music industry, the windows are very small, and you have to have the right timing to catch that window of opportunity. We had actually several windows of opportunity, but there was a lot of things that was going against the group because of their ethnicity. And at that time, on a genre that's dominated by African Americans and Caucasians, a Filipino group trying to fit in there and trying to make a name for itself was something that a lot of labels didn't want to take a risk, even though they really liked the group.
I mean, I'm grateful that you brothers came into my life because, you know, I'm very grateful for that. I'm not grateful of how we were treated. Never. It'll be a scar that will never go away. I mean, I experienced racism. We all did in real time.
So all of this stuff we went through, just to be rejected once they saw the color of your skin.
There's always somebody behind the console and behind the mic that raised your talent and packaged it at another level.
Yes. Well, he's worked with some of today's most popular artists, and he's making a big impact in the music business. He's a musician, a songwriter, and a producer, and he lives right here in the Sacramento area. Alan is now writing and producing, hoping to turn Sacramento into the next Hitsville, USA. As a producer, Alan recently signed a Sacramento group called Touch.
Yeah, I've had a chance to tour with a lot of different artists over the past 9 years now. And I've also had a chance to produce a lot of different artists, you know, like Bobby Brown, Black Girl, Tony. I enjoy and see great potential in working with Touch because out of all the groups that I've worked with, this group stands out.
DOA is a godsend to a lot of people. And certainly is a godsend to you guys. To Lionel Richie, to Janet Jackson. Humble as he is, right? But he's a stature in the music industry.
Describe the series of events that led to the inaugural ball.
It was a triple effect of all the things that we were doing. The group and the management group, the way that we set it up was one gig led to another gig to another gig.
You were on KFBK, you were on KCRA, Channel 3, you were at the King's Game performing, you were at Disney World, Disneyland performing.
Well, I was in a conference room right before our group meeting. I grabbed a paper and I saw, well, President Clinton was having his inaugural coming up.
Myself, Raleigh, and Errol, we just assembled some ideas together. Mel drew it out had some ideas on a paper placemat at our Chinese restaurant. And he says, if we can do this and this and this, I think we can get him to the White House because your contacts, my contacts, Raleigh's contacts, we can do these things with Errol's technical stuff. We can do all these things together. And about a year and a half later, we were watching you guys perform at this inaugural ball, which was the 1997 presidential election inaugural ball with Bill Clinton.
You know what, and that's right there, you just hit it, is the purpose of why I wanted to capture everyone's stories about that time. And, you know, Touch wouldn't have been what it was if you guys hadn't been in those sessions, because those were sessions. And you were an artist, you were a management team, and our business team, more or less, kind of like foreseeing for us what was coming. And, you know, when you think about what that means, you helped put the idea of Touch into fruition. And we eventually reached heights that no other Filipino-American singing group in history has done before, which is sing for a president of the United States. We couldn't have done it by ourselves. What we did back then created something for someone else to follow. And I'm hoping that this short documentary will do the same for other artists out there and show, as Filipinos being a part of the Asian Pacific Islander community here in the United States, if you look behind you with all these #1 records, with all these artists in the room that we're in right now, which is DOA's studio, is that Touch had the opportunity to grasp the roots of what music is within the R&B and gospel genres. And I think that's missing in today's music industries. What do you think would have been like if Touch and the management team had social media back then?
Oh my God, what a question. My. Just a matter, that question is so profound, because looking back now with modern digital technology, which we didn't have at that time, and the networking as a result of this, woo! It would be like a fly me to the moon. Yeah, but it is what it is. It was what it was. Yeah, so that's, we accepted our destiny at that time, shall we say.
If you just let go and let God have his way, everything's gonna be all right. It ain't over. God bless you.
In 1997, the groundbreaking Filipino singing group Touch made history by performing at the 53rd Presidential Inaugural Ball, making it the first time a Filipino singing group performed for a U.S. president. At a time where the entertainment industry was dominated by black and white artists, despite skepticism, Touch always took the stage and stunned its audience. Their performance at the inauguration not only advocated for cultural representation, but marked the dawn of a new era where these unsigned Filipino recording artists shattered racial barriers in the music industry. After a decade-long journey on becoming a polished act, discrimination against their Filipino identity led to the group's eventual breakup. Now, 3 decades later, with the rise of social media and the popularity of Asian performers worldwide, offers a chance to write a new story. One that describes a gathering of the most talented Asian Pacific Islander recording artists of our time, alongside Touch, as they campaign to take the stage together and return to the 2025 presidential inauguration. It's an ensemble of recording artists from today and yesterday's music era, producing a show that will be unlike nothing ever seen before. A movement that symbolizes triumph of possibility and overcoming. Our campaign to Washington, D.C. emphasizes the power of collaboration, encouraging fellow Asian Pacific Islanders to draw attention to humanitarian issues, cultural representation, and highlights the positive impact of Asian Pacific Islander artists in the entertainment industry. As a community, it highlights our innate long-term commitment to innovative thinking that's dedicated to representing Asian Pacific Islander culture and inspiring future generations. The Road to DC is merely a chapter in a book where new characters and adventures can be written, and it's a story that still needs an ending. It's a demonstration in how we can begin to address global issues in real time. As a creative collective, our mission goes beyond entertainment or politics.
It's a call to unite regardless of origin. For the saying, unity in the community, is not just a mere tagline. It's a rallying cry for every individual who believes in the power of community unification and invites individuals to contribute as if they're singing along in the words of a song that says, anything is possible.